Say yes and find out. That was the motto. Can't be in your little room all the time. That's not where life starts. Like, I consider these business trips. I need to write that as a tax write-off. Anxiety was rampant. Bus, club, another club, another club, another club. With these glasses, I mean business. Wow. Can we believe it? Next week, we will be in 2025. Cue the existential crisis. I'm just joking. I'm just joking. Truthfully, I'm feeling more sure of myself than I ever have since graduating college. Like, the years after that just felt like I was relearning everything, which is so odd. And same thing happened after high school, so coming to this year, this age, like I'm 25, entering 2025. Okay, I'm looking so official. Handy has his computer out, that means he means business. Hi you all, welcome back for the final video of 2024. I have, look at me, just a librarian. Yeah. Oh wait, no, I look bald. I just got back from a trip to Belgium and Paris again. You'll see those videos in the new year. I felt like it would be more appropriate to do this review of 2024 before beginning the year with a bang, with like the vlogs and like the beauty and all that stuff. And I'm doing this video because I've realized, in a way, sell myself short. I was just telling myself this year, I'm like, oh, I didn't do enough, I didn't do enough. But this year, actually, when reviewing and writing all this stuff down, for the first time in a couple years, I felt like I did so much. And I don't know if it's, I just associate my productivity with my worth, and I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but I do like to stay busy and I do like to be going, you know, go, go, go. However, I thought it would be fun to do a review about the things I did, the things I created, the opportunities I was presented with, and also give a little forecast on 2025, manifest, if you will. And I hope this comes as an inspiration as well, not so much of me just yapping about what I was doing. I hope this doesn't come off as like super self-centered. 2024, I feel like, was the year I started to strip away all the shame associated with posting on social media, specifically YouTube. I felt like I always had this shame associated with people watching me and perceiving me. So last winter, I started experimenting more with different types of video content on YouTube. I believe I was like at 150, maybe 200 subscribers. Maybe, no, I feel like I was at 150. I was really not. We doubled that in a year, which is something to be proud of. I had to have the hard talks with myself about really where I wanted to go. Like, I knew the goals and what I wanted in my dreams, and in order to get there, you have to be, I had to be put out, I had to put myself out there, I had to experiment, I had to trial, and I had to be okay with being vulnerable and not really having a say in the final outcome. You know, when you push out art, when you push out your creativity and what you make, you have all the say in the production part, but then once it's out there, and there's, you got no say after that. It's just out there in the universe. So I got really comfortable with doing that. I didn't enjoy the beginning months of January to February, to be honest. February, I just had like really bad mental health and I didn't know. I think I was just really overworking myself. So because of that, in March, I booked a flight to Paris and I was about to cancel that flight. I was like, oh, I'm like not feeling the best. And my anxiety was rampant. It was just not the best time. I'm like, who am I to go to a new country? Like, I can't do it. I can't go international when I'm not feeling my best. Like, I have to feel my best. Going when I didn't feel my best was the best thing I could have ever done, because I knew I had missed Paris and I knew I had missed a place that had brought out so much creativity in me and that had brought out a side of me that I really love to see and I feel like is suppressed here in my home and environment. Yeah, I had the time in my hands and I was like, if I'm gonna be lost at home and like not knowing where I'm going, I'd rather be doing it in a country that I love. So I wasn't really on a very touristy vacation. I wouldn't even call it, like, I hate the term vacation, you know? Like, I can't, because Hanny doesn't really go on vacation. Hanny goes and creates. Like, I consider these business trips. I need to write that as a tax write-off. People ask, like, I go there a lot. I know. This is literally like, after this past time a couple weeks ago, it's my third time being there. And I wouldn't go back if I didn't really have a spark from being there. More than a lot of other places. I was in New York, we'll get to that. But when I was in New York, I didn't feel that at all. I was testing out the waters in March because I know that Paris is a fashion capital. A lot of the big fashion brands are there. A lot of publications are there. Just, you want to make it in the game, you're there. Either there or London or New York. One thing I was really proud of myself was I had connected to a photographer. Her name was Maria, who is now my friend, and we always like keep up to date on socials. She photographed Hugo, this one model that I really love, like the things he's part of. She photographed him for this just like YSL project. And I was like, hey, if I'm in Paris anytime soon, do you want to hang and we can take photos? And we ended up making it work. And I was really happy to have put myself out there. I was really uncomfortable at the time with the idea of someone else, still back to the idea of someone else perceiving me. Someone else had the reins with taking photos of me. Like, they had all the power in a sense. You know, I had no, when I take photographs, it's mainly like on tripod, and that's where I'm most comfortable, because like I can just mess up and look funky and no one will ever see any of that stuff. They'll only see the final product. So with working with Maria, I was just like, I had to be like, wow, like this is how it is. And it really did expand my reach, expanded my comfort zone, my connections, and I made a friend out of it, which is great. And I noticed how great it could be to collaborate with people, and that I don't have to go about this stuff alone. And from March to May, I locked in on editing. I continued creating various like photo projects. I continued creating YouTube videos. It was a little bit difficult at that time because I'm like, oh, what idea? Like, what do I do? What aside from the vlogs and travel, because I can't travel all the time, what are going to be my videos in between? You know, one of my favorite projects that I created during that time was the Gucci Hill Spring campaign. I called it that just because I filmed it on a hill. It was just so fun. And then I also took some photographs, and I'll put some over here, and I'll actually play a little bit of the clip right now. All the while like creating all these things, I'm still holding my 9-to-5 job, right? Which has been so flexible, and I'm so grateful for, because it's allowing me to still fulfill these dreams and work towards these aspirations of mine. In May, I flew out again. I was just like, oh my god, this is so... Usually, like, I need at least 6 months between travel, so for me to have gone to Paris in March, end of March, and then April flew by, beginning of May, my work was like, we need to send you to San Diego for a conference. I was like, oh my god. I was about to say no, but then... That's also the other thing. This last year has been a bunch of... The motto for me was, say yes and find out. That was the motto. Say yes and find out. And so, went to San Diego. That was great. Summer 2024. Summer 2024, I look back on, it was beautiful. It was honestly a great time. Usually I don't like the summertime. My birthday is always such a funky time in June, because it's just the attention's like not really on myself. And... let's be honest here, like, when it's your birthday, you want to be selfish. So, I always feel a type of way when June comes. However, this time, I think the summer was so fun because I made it fun. I shifted my mindset. A lot of the times we wait for things to happen to us, like we wait for the next fun party, we wait for the next fun, like, wedding, or something that, like, is exciting in our lives. That's not gonna come. Those are few and far between. We also place very high expectations on them, so we kind of, I don't know. I threw all that stuff out the door, and I made sure to just enjoy my day-to-day, be present, and ground myself. And a lot of what helped me ground myself was creating art. And look, like I do, if you follow me on Instagram and you see my stories, a lot of my stories are 8 to 10 seconds of things that people look at and kind of just continue on with their day. I sit there and focus on it and take videos of them, whether it be people passing by, or just like birds in the sky, or like a fairy, or just some mundane thing, and put a little music over it, and it's my most favorite thing ever. I did get a lot of work in June for grad photos. That's typically what I do in May, June-ish. Like, I will take on grad photography, and so I got bookings. I also, wait, I launched my website in like March. I totally forgot. That was like a big thing too. I launched my website. I do want to highlight in July, one of my most favorite projects. In the summer, I told myself, I want to try to crank out as many vintage editorial campaign type of like film, very Italian style. And one of the things that came out of that after the inspiration was l'artiste in the summer. L'artiste. Bitch, I need to find how to. I literally named it that. Like, I need to know how to pronounce it. Excuse me.
The word for artist is l'artiste.
L'artiste. Weird as fuck. So that film, it was what, like 40 seconds. That film was a big experimentation with color grade and fashion and funky just story dialogue. And then the rest of July was just a lot of me being present and enjoying the summer with my family, just doing things that I always do every summer. You know, there's a fair that we have in the city that I've gone to since my childhood. So did that. It was a lot of appreciating what's around me, because I know when fall hits, it's like go, go, go. Because that's like where I thrive, to be honest. Did a lot of campaign shoots. I was really inspired to do those this summer. I made a Gucci inspired vintage eyewear campaign, which came about kind of coincidentally. I was at the beach. I was at Cannon Beach in Oregon, and I was wearing those glasses out. Those glasses, I was wearing them all summer. So I created like a little black and white campaign thing, and it was really fun. I call it a campaign when it's literally just photos, but it's whatever. This summer though, the thing that shifted greatly, which I was really proud of myself for, was allowing myself to be the subject of photographs, or having, like, kind of with taking photos with Maria in Paris, allowing myself to take the backseat and let someone else create. But I also still had a heavy hand at the creative directing of a lot of the projects I wanted to be a part of. But yeah, just allowing someone else to be the photographer and like see their vision through. I worked with my friend Faith a lot. I was just like, we would just take photos. Then in the fall, I think was it end of August, beginning of September, I got to work. I got to be the male model for a local like secondhand thrift store. It's more like a boutique shop in the city. It was so great. It was honestly so fun. We shot at Gasworks, which is a little park overlooking the city skyline here. We shot from 8 a.m. to 12, and that was one of the first like, I was really uncomfortable at the beginning. I was just like, or very anxious, honestly, because I'm like, oh my god, this is gonna be like posted, it's gonna be on their website, like what if I don't like do the job, like am I really model material? Like I just kept telling myself, hey, you're not a model, you just like take photos of yourself, which is technically what a model is. I just don't know why I can't associate myself with that, because I also don't really, it's a long story for another time, so let's leave it at that. Fall, I made some of my most favorite pieces of work with my best friend Faith. So we always talk about our inspirations and kind of what inspires us in the digital and art world, and then one day we were like, why don't we make a fall film? You know, we see it all on TikTok and reels, and we're like, dude, let's do something ourselves. And that kind of one thing led to the next, and Faith ended up creating a screenplay. Like, she was a screenwriter for this and just typed it out for us. A little town, what's it called? It's called Port Gamble. Little town over there. And then we just spent a couple hours shooting, and it was just, I was so heavily inspired because it was the fall, it was beautiful, and that's like kind of what just sparks my interest. When it comes to film, when it comes to art and creating and photos and just all that jazz, I will get to work on it and it's not a burden on me. So I was just like cranking that out, and then we released it and it was received really well. I think it has like over 100,000 views right now. So it was pretty great. You could see it on my Insta, by the way, it's pinned. So this next part is in tandem with what I did in October, but there were a lot of changes as well in the end of summer. This is also why I feel like the summer is very just melancholic and very just bittersweet. So a childhood best friend of mine, so that's, oh my god, I totally forgot to mention that. My friends and I had this like bucket list summer where we made a bucket list of things we wanted to do, because one of my friends since middle school got accepted to Harvard and went over to move to Boston for the year in some months. So that was kind of like an end to, it had felt like, but I still see her like honestly every other month. It doesn't really feel like there's that distance. At the time, it did feel like a lot of things just came crashing down on me because I felt it was like one of the last people I knew from childhood that was picking up and leaving and doing something so incredible. So it put into perspective for me how lost I had felt. Fast forward to October. October was a fun month. At the end of October, my friend Common and I booked a flight to Boston so we can go see Arthi. And it was such a fun time. It was a weekend only, but Boston was beautiful and so Halloween-esque, Halloween Town vibe, and the memories we made were just so fun. I will also put the video up here for you to like go and watch. From there, because I knew I was going to be on the East Coast, I took a train down to New York right after. And it was my first time doing an Amtrak train, and it took like 3 hours or so, but that was a culture shock. Getting to the city and looking up and like seeing all these skyscrapers and being like, the one thing that I kept coming to mind was like, what the hell am I doing here? Like truly, I was like, what the hell am I doing here? I should have just gone home. Like I need to go home to my safe space. And that was the one thing the purpose of going by myself on that solo trip was, Hanny, you need to be uncomfortable. It's fine. It's fine. Like you can't be in your little room all the time. That's not where life starts. And the other thing, back to like the big three, you know, London, Paris, New York, I really wanted to confirm, was New York a place that I could see myself moving to for work? And honestly, there was just no spark. Like I really couldn't. It just felt not like home. It just felt too busy, too hustle bustle. There wasn't enough like calmness for me. Everywhere I went, it felt like chaos. It's not the New York that I knew in 2021. However, there was a lot of fun things that I did there. I connected with a mutual, and we did some test shots for him for modeling. So I got into my little photography bag there, and then I did a lot of self-projects, self-creative shoots there as well. Even though I was solo, I was worried. I was like, who's gonna take my photos? But I just took my tripod and made it work. So that was October. And as soon as I got home after the trip, like I only had a couple days, and then the next week I had a wedding to film on the weekend. It was at a winery here, still in Washington, but it was in more like Midwest of Washington. That was something that was very, very fun for me. I have never created a film or a wedding film, and for that person to trust that I could, because they've seen like what I've been able to create through YouTube and all the other videos that I post on Instagram. So I felt like they thought I could do a good job. And I did. It was great. From November on, it was just bus club, another club, another club, another club. It was so packed. Wedding, come back, edit the wedding. Still working, by the way. We had our flights booked to Belgium and Paris. So in the midst of that, I had to pack. I had to find what I'm going to wear. That's a whole ordeal in and of itself. Then the end of November comes. Did I do anything else in November? In the midst of all of November, it was a lot of hanging out with friends, rekindling friendships, all that stuff. And then December rolls around. First week of December, I had another wedding to photograph with my friend Faith. We did a little tag team duo thing. And that also ended up incredible, and we're really proud of it. We're still working on the photos, but yeah, as soon as that got done, it was Paris time, baby. It was Paris and Belgium time. So I wrapped up the year. I was really excited. I got everything done before then, and still in the midst, the past month, I was consistently posting on YouTube every Wednesday. I mean, this one came a little bit late, but it's fine. However, I was consistent every Wednesday. So in the midst of that, by the time I got on that plane, I was like, oh, I'm ready to just relax. That's where I'm at right now, and we wrapped up the year in Belgium and Paris. It was the most beautiful time. You'll see more of it. I decided to post those in the new year. I feel like it'd be great to just start my year there. And that's my year in review. I can't wait to see what 2025 brings. With this time in between, the post-Christmas to New Year's, I'd love to spend time in reflection and also in manifestation mode and writing down what I really want for myself. I haven't written it down, but I do know tidbits of kind of where I do want to be heading. I know that I need to work on pitching myself to agencies, to a bunch of other places that would be able to get me the funding for me to continue to be able to do what I'm doing. Secondly, I do really want to I want to create a portfolio specifically for travel, because I know with like my Insta stories and the way I create reels. I think hotels would be a great avenue for me to reach out to and ask to be able to do collaboration and work through that, because it'd be doing something I love and it would get me to places where I would also be able to incorporate my fashion, my lifestyle, my video creations, and do all that and wrap it all in one. I hope we grow double the size in this YouTube family in the next year, or wherever it wants to take me. That'd be wonderful. I'm trying to go full throttle on social media. Like, I used to say I don't give a fuck, but truly right now I don't give a fuck. Like, I just want to post. I want to build a following, and yeah, just like continue working in the creative realm. That's honestly where I really want to see myself for the next couple years. And then in 5 years, we'll talk about what's to come next, you know. I'm so grateful for you for watching. People comment, I still sometimes have this like imposter syndrome. I'm like, you're watching? Like, you watched all the way through? You know? It's something I'm getting used to, but it is really inspiring, and I feel honored that you like spend time out of your day to watch me. But I hope you stick around, and if you're watching this and you're new, remember to subscribe because that helps a lot. Other than that, I'll see you in 2025. Alright, bye.